be honest, when I started this rewrite, I figured I'd be done within the 3rd or 4th episode, and maybe I would have if I let the videos run longer, but keeping them short is what keeps me from burning out. Anyway, with episode 4, and from here on out, the story is going to really start taking off and is going to start focusing more on the mystery aspect. I really appreciate you guys being patient, and I hope you're liking the story so far, and thank you for sticking around. With that said, let's get into the episode. Enjoy. Sam, Shaggy, Velma, and Scooby are playing a game of tag in the park. Shaggy's already out as Sam caught him while he was eating a snack. Scooby and Velma are still in the game. They split up and Velma runs behind some bushes only to fall into a sinkhole. Velma had yet to learn how to swim and starts to panic. Shaggy runs to get some help as Sam tries to reach for her. Scooby jumps in the water and pulls Velma into Sam's reach. Luckily, Shaggy shows up with the parents and they quickly pull Velma out of the water. Velma's parents take her home while the others report the sinkhole. A few days pass and the sinkhole is scheduled to be drained and filled. Velma and her mother start making dinner. Velma reads the recipe out loud, however, she's having an unusually hard time reading the steps. Her mother examines what the problem could be and quickly surmises it to be her eyes. Velma has never had any issues with her eyes previously and now she can't read what's in front of her. Her mother makes an emergency appointment to the optometrist. The doctor is stumped that Velma's vision deteriorated so quickly is not unheard of, but it definitely is peculiar. He's informed about the sinkhole incident, and while he is open to the idea that something could have been in the water to affect her eyes, there's unfortunately no proof. All he can do is prescribe her the lenses that she'll need to use from now on. Velma's mother buys her some ice cream as they make their way back home. Are you mad? No, just a little confused. Is it my fault? Of course not, but maybe it's someone else's. Velma is told to wait in the car as her mother makes a stop at the park. Velma bursts into William's empty classroom with her test result file in hand and rambles incoherently. That's the only thing that makes sense. It has to be. Once it's an accident, twice it's a coincidence, third time it's a pattern. It's connected. They have to be connected. Velma, context. Context. The sinkhole, my eyes, my mom going missing is connected. There's no way in hell all this happened in such a short amount of time and it not mean something. Okay, I get what you're saying. When you lay it out like that, it is suspicious. More than suspicious, this is the key to figuring out what happened. It has to be. Velma, I know you want an answer, but sometimes the truth is tragedies happen for no good reason other than they just do. This seemed to fully calm Velma down as William looks over the file. He does agree with Velma's original assessment, however he sees a few abnormalities. There's 2 noticeable spikes that shouldn't be that high. It's not lethal, but it's definitely not normal for a 10-year-old. What really has him concerned is seeing a particular chemical that is often used in the making of pharmaceuticals. That's probably why they insisted you be brought back for more testing to figure out what specifically it was. But too much time has passed now. What about the sinkhole? Is there any way we can get a sample out of that? It was drained and filled years ago, and the dirt they used would compromise any samples. What about the water? Velma, you're grasping at straws. That was 10 years ago. None of that would be around now. Your best bet will be that file you requested. It'll have more information than this one does. I just can't sit here and wait for a call. Then how about you make a call? Have you talked to your father yet? Do we really have to talk about that now? Yes. I know you want to know what happened to your mother, but don't ignore the parent that's been there for you. What do I even say to him? That's not for me to say. I want to make something clear. I don't know shit about pharmaceuticals or anything else of that nature. So take everything I say as fiction, pure fiction. I'm sure if a professional team was writing this, they'd make it make more sense. But since it's just me, I am making it the up. With that address, let's talk about the flashback. Like I previously said, we are going to start diving into the mystery aspect of the story by looking back and figuring out what led to the disappearance. The sinkhole is the cataclysm that triggered the events, but it is not the center focus. The main takeaway from this flashback is that it reveals to us the origin of Velma's glasses. Mindy Kaling's Velma show did this as well, but it just fell flat. However, I did like the idea of an origin story for Velma's glasses and incorporated it into my rewrite, and that's really what helped shape the story. After the flashback, Velma is hysterical as she thinks she's finally found a connection that could lead to an answer. William does try to be supportive, but obviously doesn't want to give her false hope and instead encourages her to fix things with her father, but also point out something very important that even Sam alluded to, but didn't directly say, and that is, regardless of whatever type of relationship you're pursuing, don't sacrifice the people that's been a constant in your life. Velma returns home as she is now the one having to wait. She nervously paces the floor as she figures out what she's going to say. The door opens and Velma's father walks in. This is not how I wanted this visit to go. I know, but Dad, I'm tired of not knowing. So am I. We just have our own versions of closure. I found something in the box, and I need to see it through. I know you're worried about me, and I get it now, but please understand. Solving mysteries is what I do best. The two reconcile and Velma tells her father all that she's discovered. He's a bit taken back when learning it could have something to do with the loss of Velma's vision and is angry with himself that he didn't make the connections. However, he's slightly annoyed that her mother didn't tell him about the blood test. Velma too is curious on why she would keep that from him. Regardless, he promises Velma that he won't interfere with her investigation as long as she keeps him in the loop. Upon hearing that, Velma asks if there's any records about the sinkhole at his firm. He's not too sure but promises to take a look. With that taken care of, they now have to decide what to order for dinner. Hello? Uh-huh. Yes. That's correct. I understand. Thank you for calling. Who was that? The lab. The file will be ready for me to pick up tomorrow. Tomorrow? Of all days? Are you going to be busy tomorrow? I have a meeting with a client, and we're going to be going through a lot of paperwork. It's basically going to be an all-day thing, and I can't reschedule because he's leaving for a business trip in the next few days. I'm sure I can get Sam, or maybe even William, to take me, as long as someone goes with you. I don't want you to do this alone. Velma agrees. While her dad orders takeout, she calls Sam. Unfortunately, he's not too sure if he can go. He has an exam tomorrow and a meetup for his group project. He'll text her and keep her posted on his availability. She calls William next. He says that he'll be free after his classes and also informs Velma that he took care of that paperwork for her. With that settled, the Thai food arrives and for once father and daughter have a happy meal together. Velma's relationship with her father has been on the rocks since episode 2 and it's time for some reconciliation. Like I previously said, Velma has been unintentionally pushing her father away due to the desperate need for an answer. Last episode, it reached its breaking point when Velma tells her father what she's been up to. He does try to be supportive as it's clear Velma needs a different type of closure to really move past this compared to him. Velma packs all that she thinks she'll need as the plan is for William to pick her up after his classes are over and go pick up the file. They'll return to his place so they can look through it, all night if necessary, though William isn't aware of that part yet. Velma keeps herself busy as she anxiously waits for William. Hey, are you on your way? We need to leave soon or else we won't make it before they close. I'm sorry, Velma. The board decided to have a last-minute meeting on the current year. Something about fluctuating numbers. I know you wanted to get that file today, but I swear, first thing in the morning, I will be there to pick you up. Thanks, William, but I'm sure Dad will want to go. If you still want me to go with you tomorrow, I will. Just tell me what you need from me. Velma jokingly insists that she doesn't want him to lose his job, so he better get to that meeting. William tries to laugh at the joke, but knows she's disappointed. Velma falls into her bed as she goes numb. She tries not to think about it, but alone with nothing but her thoughts, it all starts to swell to the surface. Hey Shaggy, how are you? Well, I called because Scooby missed you, but is everything alright on your end? I'm tired, Shaggy. Well, if you're low on energy, a good hot meal always helps me. What do you suggest? Well, anything would do for me, but maybe you might like some soup. You know, that actually doesn't sound half bad. How is Scooby and the others? Well, Fred thinks he's cracked the case, but Daphne's poking holes in his theories, and Scooby, he says the snacks don't taste the same without you. The call did lift Velma's spirits and decides to make some soup. I never put much thought in how I view Velma and Shaggy's friendship, but honestly, I don't think there's much to think about. They're just friends. As a result, I want to keep it that way, but add a little extra layer to Shaggy. Normally, his character can be very oblivious, but I like the idea that while he's not the most observant person, he can be intuitive to other people's feelings, particularly those he's close to, aka Velma. Shaggy doesn't explicitly ask Velma what's wrong, but knows something's up. Unlike Daphne, who would have been more direct, Shaggy instead offers a suggestion that he hopes will make Velma feel better. While we don't get to see these characters interact, the phone calls showcase the different personalities within this group. With that said, it's getting pretty obvious that Velma investigating her mother's disappearance is taking a toll on her. What will this lead to? I don't entirely know, but let's find out together. Hey Sam, how's your group project coming along? It's getting there. You and William on your way to get that file? Actually, William had a last-minute board meeting, so I'm forced to wait until tomorrow. Are you okay? It's difficult waiting, but there's really no other option. Is there any way we could make it? That's sweet, Sam, but by the time it takes you to pick me up, we'll miss the closing time by 15 to 30 minutes, and that's not including traffic. What if I was to drive over there and pick up the file myself? You'll make it, but they won't give it to you unless I was to call them and tell them you were going to pick it up for me. So it's settled. Velma calls the lab and they'll allow the file to be picked up by Sam, but only through a password system. She texts Sam the password to give them when he gets there. Once again, Velma anxiously waits. that is the end of episode 4, and things are definitely starting to pick up. I hope you guys are enjoying the story so far. It's been fun for me. There's not much I can say that I haven't already talked about. Also, there's not much I can say without possibly giving something away. So thank you again for watching, and like and subscribe.